The story surrounds this baby girl that you see on my screen. That is Destiny Oliver. Destiny Oliver was 5 years old. She's just a baby. Okay? I remember vividly when my daughter was 5 years old. Such a joy to be around. This baby has a radiant, beautiful, beautiful smile. And she was robbed of her life. And what's crazy about this is it seems like we are telling this story all the time, that it seems like it's the parents that are doing all of these bad things to these kids. And I don't want anything bad to happen to these kids at all, but it's even more sad when the person who is responsible for bringing you in this world is the one who is responsible for taking you out of it. I know some of y'all have heard that growing up in y'all households, but it's not a good thing. It's never a good thing to hear somebody say, I brought you in this world and I'll take you out. That's a horrible thing to say to your kids. Like, I don't know how you expect your kids to love you and respect you when you say stuff like that. But nonetheless, a Tennessee mother is suspected of fatally shooting her own 5-year-old daughter in the chest before giving investigators conflicting stories about the incident. So this mom did something heinous, and then she turned around and lied about it. How about that? She lied about it. Are you guys surprised? All these liars all week long, past 2 weeks, everybody's lying. But her lie makes it more egregious because if you read the title, then you know that this mother actually tried to blame her daughter's death on her own 2-year-old toddler child. How about that for a narrative? Just hold that thought. We'll come back to it. That woman, Robin Howington, who looks like she has been drugged through the mud, and just that face, boy, she looked like she's a good 65 in the face. Let's back it up. That woman is 37 years old. She is my age. 37 years old, and she's been indicted by a grand jury of first-degree murder, child neglect, false reporting, which is good because they're finally starting to get these people for the lies, tampering with evidence, and attempting tampering with evidence from a September 14, 2019 death of her own daughter, that beautiful angel soul, Destiny Oliver, 5 years old. That baby right there, that was her daughter. She was arrested by Knox County Sheriff's Office on Wednesday and held on a $500,000 bond. If you ask me, I don't know how she gets a bond at all, and maybe the bond should have been a little bit higher, considering the fact that this was her own kid. But I digress. Now, last year, authorities were dispatched to the mother's Fountain City neighborhood home to find the young girl had been shot. And that's according to the Knoxville News Sentinel. Hashtag not my words. Everybody talks about I get my facts wrong, but they won't go check the people that are actually putting out the facts for the police and the courts. So it's strange to me that they get mad about me telling you what the courts are going to say. All right? Now, the baby, Destiny, was taken to University of Tennessee Medical Center, but she did not survive and she was pronounced dead. Now, when investigators asked the mother, would try to pass blame on 4 others. First lie. She told investigators that an unidentified man broke into their home and shot her daughter once in the chest before fleeing in a black Chrysler 300. If that sounds familiar, we've done a number of stories where these women have made up these fake scenarios and even give police sketch descriptions about these so-called men who did these things to them, and turned out that we found out they were lying. Let me give a shout out real quick to Miss Nisi, sending a $5 super chat, and she said, "Hi Jay, I got one of those one of your t-shirts and wish you had some with the hashtag BLM Babies Lives Matter." Well, I might have to do that. So I want to say thank you, and thank you not only for getting the shirt. I've got some more shirts coming for myself so I can sport some different colors and some different designs. But thank you and much love and support, Miss Nisi in the building. Okay. Now, The mother later claimed that the girl's father, which is lie number 2, the biological father is a guy named Antoine Oliver. So if Antoine Oliver is out there listening, if he wants to contact us, the email is theafcmatters@gmail.com. And let us know why this woman would tell a lie on you like this. She said that her own baby daddy was the culprit who shot their daughter before escaping in a black Chrysler 300. The biological dad is who she tried to pin this on. Initially, it was just some random man. Now she tries to pin it on the biological father, but it gets worse, okay? Now, she claimed that Antoine Oliver shot their daughter after a tense argument between them. Around this time, authorities discovered a handgun hidden in the bush outside of the mother's home. Now, the mother, again, her name is Robin. So Robin next claimed that her boyfriend, Daniel Hensley, who was not Destiny's father, had hidden the handgun in a bush outside her home. She is trying to pin all of this on every single man that she know, including random phantom men. Isn't this crazy? She claimed her own boyfriend by the name of Daniel Hensley, who is not Destiny's father. Destiny's father is a man named Antoine Oliver. So that's at least 3 different people she's tried to blame this on. And she blamed him and said he hid the gun outside a bush of her home. But here's the caveat. You guys know how she got caught? Y'all want to know how the mom got caught? I'm going to give y'all a chance to guess. They found out the mom was lying because of surveillance footage. Surveillance footage. How many of you guys are surprised by that? And you know what? It makes you wonder, really, like, would you really want to know all the lies that people tell if you could just capture everything on video evidence? I think it's a crazy thing to think that somebody can tell you one thing and you should be able to believe people. But you know what? Grown people learn how to incentivize lies and elicit sympathy, especially women. It's not a knock to all women, but it is a lot of them in these type of situations, okay? Cops saw her own surveillance footage from a neighbor hiding the firearm among the shrubbery. So there was a neighbor who had some type of surveillance, and it's good that they did because they found out that this chick was lying on camera. Now, once the mother was confronted with the evidence, she allegedly admitted to hiding the weapon in the bushes, but she claims it was out of maternal instinct. How about that? Crazy, huh? Now, continuing her spin on this story, the mother, in her most shocking claim, then told investigators that she wiped the gun down and stashed the gun. I'm going to say that again. She wiped the gun down, wiping her fingerprints off of it, and she tried to hide it and stashed it. But now she tries to say that it was her own 2-year-old son who discovered her gun that was in a closet inside of her house, and she said that the toddler, the 2-year-old toddler, was the one that shot his own 5-year-old sister. Now, y'all tell me that's not low down and dirty. And definitely a goddamn shame. What kind of an individual, let's back this up. What kind of an individual is this that she just loves nobody at all? She don't love her baby dad, the biological father, the man that she laid down and made these kids with in order to create a legacy. She didn't love him because she tried to blame it on him. Then the man who she's currently sleeping with, her boyfriend, she tried to pin it on him. So apparently she didn't love him either. She tried to also pin it on some random man who broke in her house, which we'll get to that here in a moment. Then, if you have no more love in your heart, she was so low down and a horrible woman and a horrible individual, a horrible human being, that she tried to pin this on her own 2-year-old son just so she could save her own skin. And I got to tell you, there is nothing more despicable than that. There is nothing. Nothing more despicable than that. And I'm going to tell you guys, I think I find it very strange the fact that I continue to keep getting emails and people contacting me talking about, Jay, you need to take your videos down. You need to take all your videos down because what you're doing is you're spreading information that's not true about these parents. Well, let's think about this for a moment. The police have done investigations and they have surveillance footage. People saw her and said something. They're going to present that evidence in court against these people, which is how they ended up getting the charges against them in the first place. They get these charges because they feel like beyond the shadow of a doubt, they will be able to prove that these people are guilty in court based on what they charge them with, which is why they are really, really careful how they charge somebody and what they charge people with. Because they're like, you know what? If we charge you with murder, we're going to convict you of murder. We feel pretty confident that we're going to have a high success rate of getting you convicted. That's the way it works. So why would people tell me that I got my information wrong when I'm using the information, the same exact information that the courts are going to use against them? But what I find even more strange, because it's only a few of those people. It's not a lot of them, but they do show up in the comments. Some of y'all in the chat have seen them in the comment section from time to time. But those people always come out in defense of one of the parents, one of the thugs, one of these hood holes, or whatever the case is. They always come out in defense of them, but you never ever hear them come out in defense of a child. Nobody defends the babies except for the AFC, except for us. We're the only ones that point this thing out. It seems like we're the only ones that care. Now, I do believe that there are more people out there that do care. Let me give a shout out to people like Early Walker out there in Chicago, a concerned businessman, and also give a shout out to Dana Brockaway in Oklahoma City from the NAACP and the Dear John programs. They care about children. They put themselves on the front line all the time in order to try to advocate for these babies. But somehow they try to tell us that our voices don't matter. And I just don't believe that. I think our voices do matter. But let's keep going. Now, that mother right there, Robin Howington's boyfriend, later told investigators, which his name is Daniel Hensley, he said that he witnessed her brandished a gun at Destiny's father the day of the shooting. Wow. But you know what? I can't blame the boyfriend for telling on his girlfriend when his girlfriend tried to blame him for the murder of her own daughter. Okay? So he told the truth. And the father reportedly took the gun away from the mom. But it's unclear what led up to the shooting, subsequently the death of Destiny Oliver on September 14th. Now, the indictment states that the mother did unlawfully kill Destiny Oliver during the perpetration of aggravated child neglect. The tampering charges stem from the mother reportedly trying to destroy her cell phone and moving furniture around the night of Destiny's death, which shows that she was trying to stage that something else happened, which is also a lie. Okay? What she was trying to do was create a narrative, a lie, an alibi. An alibi. Now, while at the hospital after the Destiny shooting, the mother, Robin Howington, allegedly tried to destroy her cell phone so she could hide illegal marijuana sales that involved her. So, she was doing some illicit deeds, right? Illicit deeds. Make sure you follow Illicit Deeds on Facebook. But she was doing something illegal, and it was evidence on her phone, and she tried to throw water on her phone to try to destroy it. But I guess you don't know how forensics actually works. Because you could actually still get information off of a cell phone, even if it does get contaminated with water. Now, she told authorities that she did not want investigators to learn of illegal marijuana sales that she had conducted, which I think that's a bullshit story too. Now, according to WATE, the mother, Robin Howington, tried to disable her cell phone by running it underwater at a hospital. A witness claimed that Robin Howington tried to pass off the cell phone to her and even offered her money to take it. Now, the mother has not yet entered a plea in the charges. Give me just a moment. All right. Sorry about that. Had to adjust that light. Here we go. Now, let me go ahead and give you guys the fair usage. Let's go ahead and tell these news stories. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. All right, let's get it.
It is horrid to think of a child dying in any manner, much less being shot.
The mother of the 5-year-old who died in a shooting in Fountain City last weekend now facing charges. Knoxville police arrested Robin Howington yesterday for tampering with evidence. The warrant says she wiped and stashed the gun outside the home on Balsam Drive in Fountain City and moved other items at the crime scene. Howington was released this morning on bond. 10 News reporter Shannon Smith learning more about the family and that little girl who died. She joins us now live from Fountain City. Shannon.
Robin, that little girl's obituary says her name was Destiny Oliver. She's a student, or was a student at Fountain City Elementary School. And that principal just sent us a statement saying their hearts are going out to the family during the loss this tragic time. There are counselors at the school right now for students and teachers who need it. Now, her obituary says that Destiny was survived by 3 brothers, and people who knew her say she was such a sweet little girl.
The details of how a 5-year-old girl was shot in Fountain City Saturday are still unfolding. Her obituary shows this picture of 5-year-old Destiny Oliver. She was a student at Fountain City Elementary School and is survived by 3 brothers. DCS says it cannot comment where those siblings are now due to an ongoing investigation. Destiny's former daycare teacher says she was a sweet child and her favorite student in a former class. Her teacher says she's crushed, in shock, and doesn't know how to feel. Attorney T. Scott Jones says it's always hard on a community when a child dies.
It is horrid to think of a child dying in any manner, much less being shot.
Destiny's mother, Robin Howington, is now charged with tampering with evidence related to the crime. Warrants state Howington wiped and stashed the gun that shot her daughter, refused to give police her phone, then put it under running water in hopes of destroying it. Documents say she feared the phone would have evidence of drug sales on it. Police also say Howington admitted to moving items in the home to make the area look normal.
If it's your home and a chair's knocked over, you may just, as a matter of course, just reach over and pick that chair up. But you know, when you have situations occur like destroying a cell phone or hiding a weapon or quote unquote wiping a weapon down, those are actually conscious acts.
Jones says tampering with evidence is a felony in Tennessee, and those found guilty can be sentenced from 3 to 15 years.
Destiny's obituary says she will be buried Friday in Bristol, Virginia. Again, no suspects have been named or arrested in this crime so far. Robin, I'm live in Fountain City. I'll send it back to you.
Shannon, thank you very much.
Knoxville mother accused of tampering with evidence related to the death of her 5-year-old daughter is expected in court tomorrow. 36-year-old Robin Howington was arrested in September after her 5-year-old daughter, Destiny Oliver, was shot and killed in their Fountain City home. Knox County court documents show Howington changed her story several times when she spoke to investigators about what happened. Arrest warrants show Howington wiped and stashed the gun and moved other items at the crime scene the night of the shooting. She is expected to appear in court for a preliminary hearing tomorrow.
Headlines today: a Knox County mother accused of murder in the death of her 5-year-old daughter is set to appear in court. Robin Howington is set to be arraigned on multiple charges. She was arrested in September after her daughter, Destiny Oliver, was shot and killed in a home in Fountain City. She was initially charged with tampering with evidence. Arrest warrants say she wiped and stashed the gun and refused to give investigators her phone. Investigators also say she changed her story several times. Then, just last week, Howington was charged with felony murder, among other charges.
Warrant just released today revealing new details in the case of a 5-year-old girl who was shot and killed earlier this month.
Her mother, Robin Howington, was charged with 2 counts of evidence tampering related to that shooting. Now, it happened in the 500 block of Balsam Drive on Saturday, September 14th.
New at 4, 6 on your side, reporter Elizabeth Kubel combing through the court documents this afternoon, joining us now in the studio with what she has uncovered. Elizabeth.
Warrant shows Howington changed her story twice when talking to investigators. Her first account, that she was sitting at home with her 2 children when a man came in with a gun and shot her daughter once in the chest before leaving the scene. She later changed her story again, saying her daughter's father came to the home, began arguing, and then shot the 5-year-old girl. Investigators, however, viewed video from a neighbor's surveillance camera of Howington trying to hide the gun. When they confronted her about it, she changed her story once more, saying her 2-year-old son climbed into her closet, used a stool to reach the gun, and shot his sister. Howington also admitted to wiping the firearm clean of fingerprints and possible DNA before she threw it into a bush. Police say Howington also tried to destroy her cell phone when officers asked for it. According to the documents, that is because she was trying to hide her involvement with selling drugs and because she realizes what is on her phone may have crucial evidence related to the death of the victim.
Wow, y'all hear that? Do me a favor if y'all would. We got 89 thumbs up. We got 152 people here. We're almost done with this story. If y'all would, try to get us over 100 thumbs up. It only takes a few people to do that. Just click that thumbs up. Sometimes I know I have to remind people because they'll forget. But yeah, I see y'all in the chat. Thank you very much. Said I'm a silent viewer, but much respect. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Because like I say, man, I think people be trying to drive me crazy, like with their emails and threats and comments and all that kind of crazy stuff. But like I said, man, we're here for the babies. Let's keep going.
Lori.
Elizabeth, thank you again.
Breaking this afternoon, new details in the shooting death of a 5-year-old girl in Fountain City. The girl's mother, Robin Howington, briefly appeared in court today. She is charged with tampering with evidence in that case. We're also learning more about what happened the night that her daughter died. Police say 5-year-old Destiny Oliver was shot and killed inside her home on Balsam Drive on September 14th. New court documents show what her mom told police happened that night. According to an affidavit in support of a search warrant, Howington initially told police an unknown man came into her home and shot Destiny in the chest, then ran away. The document says Howington then later changed her story, saying the girl's father, Antone Oliver, was the man who came inside and shot Destiny. The investigator lists him.
She blamed a phantom man, then she blamed her own kid's dad, the one that was dead. She blamed his dad, then she blamed her current boyfriend, and then she blamed her own 2-year-old son. 4 different individuals in this story that she tried to pin this on. That's crazy.
Him as a suspect in the case, as well as Howington. Records show that Howington then changed her story a 3rd time, telling investigators her 2-year-old, who was also inside the home, climbed into her closet, got the gun, then shot Destiny. In the document, the investigator says he believes Howington is hiding her involvement in her daughter's death and is trying to hide the true identity of who is responsible. So far, no one has been arrested or charged with Destiny's murder. Howington is due back in court October 17th.
A Knoxville mother is now facing a felony murder charge in the death of her 5-year-old daughter. Last September, Destiny Oliver was shot and killed at a home in Fountain City. At the time, her mother, Robin Howington, was charged with tampering with evidence, and no one was ever charged with the child's murder. In December, she waived her right to a preliminary hearing, and the judge sent her case to the grand jury for review. Well, now the grand jury has returned an indictment against Howington on charges including felony murder and aggravated child neglect, in addition to tampering with evidence.
And more breaking news for you at this hour. A Knoxville mother has been charged with first-degree murder in the death of her 5-year-old daughter.
The little girl, Destiny Oliver, was fatally shot in September at her home in the 500 block of Balsam Drive. That's in Fountain City. Several details have come out since then.
Her mother, Robin Howington, was charged with evidence.
And I see the thumbs up have went up. Thank you guys so much for clicking that. If we can, our next goal is 150. So that means we only need about 26 more people to click that thumbs up.
Tampering later that same month after allegedly trying to destroy her phone instead of giving it to officers. Knoxville police also saying
Somebody in the chat said, I believe you're, let me see, I think you're making a difference. A real one. Thank you, AFC. And I thank you for saying that. So the more of you guys that come out, and if y'all believe that what we're doing is making a difference by bringing attention to these babies, man, make sure to let the people know. You can let them know in the comment section. You can let them know in the chat. But I don't know if y'all noticed it or not, but we're fighting an uphill battle. When I have all of these, when I start having organizations talking about trying to take my videos down and my channel down, come on, man. Come on, man. You know, I think we're making an impact in some positive way. And just people don't want to see it. But let's keep going.
Howington changed her story several times with investigators. Howington's bond is set at $500,000.
The mother of a 5-year-old shot and killed in Fountain City this weekend is now facing charges. Robin Howington was released on bond today. She was arrested yesterday. Knoxville police say she is now charged with tampering with evidence. 10 News reporter Shannon Smith is live in Fountain City with details on her charges and how her little girl is being remembered. Shannon.
Robin, this is where that crime happened, on this block in Fountain City, and the people I've talked to today who knew this little girl say she was such a sweet, light, nice person to have around, a favorite student in classes, and they're just hoping to recover from the tragedy of her loss.
Warrants for Robin Howington say she wiped and stashed the gun that shot her daughter, refused to give police her phone, then put it under running water in hopes of destroying it. Documents say she feared the phone would have evidence of drug sales on it. The warrant also says Howington admitted to moving items in the home to make the area look normal. Attorney T. Scott Jones says some of those actions will be harder to defend than others.
If it's your home and a chair's knocked over, you may just, as a matter of course, just reach over and pick that chair up. But you know, when you have situations occur like destroying a cell phone or hiding a weapon,
I don't understand how she got off on a $500,000 bond. I think for murder should be $1 million bond, period. Now, will she be able to get out on that? I doubt it. But still, $500,000 I think is a bit low for murder of your own kid. I'm just saying.
Or quote unquote wiping a weapon down. You know, those are actually conscious acts.
5-year-old Destiny's death is hard for people in her life to grasp, like her former daycare teacher, who says Destiny was a sweet child and her favorite student in a former class. Her teacher says she's crushed, in shock, and doesn't know how to feel. Destiny's funeral is Thursday. She'll be buried Friday in Bristol, Virginia.
Howington has a bonded arraignment hearing next Friday, September 27th. Again, she is being charged with tampering with evidence. No suspects have been named in this crime. I'm reporting live in Fountain City. Robin, I'll send it back to you.
Shannon, thank you very much. Today,
if you guys don't mind, man, we do have people that support the channel in a monetary form. Let me give a shout out real quick to Keyshawn Johnson in the chat if you're listening. Thank you. Sheila Cherry, thank you. Tanea, if you're listening, thank you. My sister Pamela Trickett sent in a cash app and she said, babies' lives matter. Babies' lives matter. God bless you. Thank you, Pamela, if you're listening. And also to, I don't know if I can say your last name or not. I'll say Audrey G sent in a cash app. So if you're listening, I wanted to say thank you to you. I did get it, so thank you.
mother accused of tampering with evidence in the death of her 5-year-old daughter is set to be in court.
WBIR 10 News reporter Yvonne Thomas is live with what we can expect. Good morning, Yvonne.
Abby Russell, good morning, and that's absolutely right. Police say that 5-year-old Destiny Oliver was shot and killed inside of her home in Fountain City. That shooting happened on September 14th on Balsam Drive. Now today, her mother, Robin Howington, is set to appear before a judge. She has been charged with evidence tampering. Now last month, she made a brief appearance in court, and at that appearance, a judge told her that she needed to get a lawyer and to come back today. But court records also show that Howington changed her story about the shooting multiple times times when talking to investigators. A warrant says that she wiped and stashed a gun and moved other items at the crime scene. It also says she refused to give police her phone and put it under running water in hopes of destroying it. Documents also say she feared the phone would have evidence of drug sales on it. Attorney T. Scott Jones told us that tampering with evidence is a felony in Tennessee, and those found guilty can be sentenced anywhere from 3 to 15 years. The court documents also show that investigators believe Howington is hiding her involvement in her daughter's death and trying to hide the true identity of the person responsible. But again, Howington is charged with tampering with evidence. So far, no one has been arrested or charged in the shooting death of 5-year-old Destiny. Of course, we'll continue to keep you updated on this case and also on this hearing.
Now, that video is a little bit old. She has been indicted as of now, so hopefully they will be able to go ahead and get a conviction. So here's why I'm going to give my closing thoughts. Let me give a shout out. Jeannie Torres in the chat said, I read it backwards. Great job, keep it up. So Jeannie Torres, if you're listening, thank you very much. I got your $5 super chat, so thank you very much. Let me go ahead and give my closing thoughts because this is going to be really, really short, and I'm going to do one small video right after this, so stay tuned, okay? Here's my closing thoughts. The look in that woman's face right there, that look. I couldn't imagine being an attorney. I could not imagine being a police officer. And even more so, I couldn't imagine being the boyfriend, the baby dad, or even her own son. The fact that she was willing to sell out anybody and everybody who would have taken a fall for her. And if you ask me, I think that's the nature of the society that we're in right now. And the fact that you have these type of people who just believe that they are infallible. Just because you give birth now and you're somebody's parent does not mean that you can do no wrong and nobody can tell you any different. Even though there have been a ton of situations that have happened where women haven't been properly held accountable for the things that they've done, but that's not always the case. But it's the case in a lot of situations, which is why somebody like this mother felt that it was so easy, and as long as she continued to keep telling lies, eventually somebody else was going to have to take the fall for her. And just maybe, she was hoping that either her simp baby dad, I'm not calling him a simp, I'm just saying maybe she was hoping he would simp for her, or her simp boyfriend, not calling him a simp either, but I guess she was thinking that maybe one of them would feel bad for her and just take the blame and fall on their sword for her honor, which is what a lot of men do. Men give their lives for a lot of women out there unjustly. They don't even ask questions a lot of times. But in this case, I hope this baby gets her justice. Again, her name is Destiny Oliver, and that beautiful baby was just 5 years old. And right there, one of my favorite pictures of her, not only is this one, I like this one, but this one more importantly because this picture puts it into proper perspective. This baby was going to kindergarten. She was a baby. And I've said this before, and it's a shame that we will advocate for grown people more than we will advocate that have already got a chance to see life and live life and do a lot of things. We will advocate more for grown people than in situations like this. And then the vitriol is not nearly as high when you have somebody who hasn't even attended a day of school yet. This baby deserved a chance. This baby deserved to grow up to be something great. Her mother failed her. And like I said, I don't know that we'll ever get the real story because it doesn't seem like this mom is going to be forthcoming about why she did it. I hope they throw a bunch of years at her in prison and just get her up out of here. If we never get a real story, then we just never get a real story. But fellas, y'all got to be more careful about who y'all lay down with and who y'all procreate with. To the ladies, understand that the power of life is an innate gift, and you guys have an amazing gift and amazing power, and please use it responsibly. If you do not want to have kids, or if you're not vetting your men properly, then you need to be more careful about what type of men you're dealing with if you don't want to have kids by certain men. Please, I ask and beg you guys to stop taking it out on these babies. That's all I can ask. We're the AFC, where we advocate for children first. I want to say RIP to that sweet angel, Destiny Oliver, just 5 years old, man. RIP, sweetheart. RIP. This is your boy DJ Just J. We're the AFC, where we advocate for children first. From my heart to yours, I love you guys, and y'all have a great night, and we'll see y'all on the next stream.